What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rich of ReviewTechUSA, and today we're going to be taking a look at the AVerMedia AVerTV USB HD DVR. Now, when I posted my Roxio game cap review, a lot of people were impressed with that product, but they didn't want to invest the money in something that could only capture standard definition. Instead, they rather get something that can capture high definition, but they just didn't want to spend the money on a Hauppauge HD PVR. Well, as of this video, the AVerMedia AVerTV USB HD DVR is going for $139.99 on Newegg.com. So for $40 more than the Roxio game cap, you can capture gameplay footage in HD with this device. But can this capture card compete with the Hauppauge HD PVR? That's what we're going to find out today. Okay, let's take a look at what the unit comes with. You obviously get a CD of the drivers and software. Make sure you go to the AVerMedia website to see if they have newer drivers and newer software. That's always your best bet when getting any electronic device. Next, you have a registration card, another pamphlet written in Chinese. I'm going to assume it's another registration card. You get your product warranty registration information, your instruction manual for the AVerTV USB HD DVR. You get a very hefty set of component and audio cables. This goes from the capture device to your TV. You get a USB cable, which goes from the capture device to your computer. An infrared sensor. You get a fairly small power supply with a good amount of cord. And you get this piece right here. It's a detachable power plug. So depending on what country you're from, you will get a different power plug. And what it does is you pop this piece off right here, slide that on, and you're good to go. And of course, you get the capture card itself. In the front here, you have S-Video, composite, and audio. So if you have older devices like a VCR, older game console, you can hook it up to this. You have your component output and audio output, and your component input and audio input. They have HDMI out, which I'm not too sure why they included that. It's only an output, and this can only record with component cables, so you're not going to see a benefit video-wise with this, but I guess it's done more for convenience reasons if you ran out of component inputs on your TV, or it's just easier for you to use HDMI. It's not bad that it's there, but it's not really a needed feature. There's your input for your infrared sensor, your USB cable input, and your power port. As you see, it has a glossy finish. It's going to be a fingerprint magnet, but it's a capture card, so I wouldn't be too concerned about that. And this HD DVR is very small. All right, just want to show you a quick comparison real quick. This is the Hauppauge HD PVR, and this is the AVerMedia solution. And look how much smaller the AVerMedia capture card is compared to the Hauppauge. Width-wise, they're pretty much, move it back a little bit, they're pretty much the same, but look at the thickness and look at the height. The AVerMedia is tiny compared to this thing. Let me stack them for a second. As you see, it's much smaller. And what's interesting is they're pretty much packing as many inputs and outputs in the AVerMedia as they do on the Hauppauge HD PVR. The only thing the Hauppauge has is an optical input and output, so if you're hooking it up to a cable box or a Blu-ray player, you can get your audio from that, but that's really it. And well, the AVerMedia HD DVR has the HDMI output, so it has something that the Hauppauge doesn't, but pretty much they both have the same inputs and outputs, and the AVerMedia is a much smaller package, tiny compared to it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have some good test material for this capture card. I have Dirt 3 and Infamous 2. So now I'm going to take this card upstairs, set up the software, and see if the AVerMedia HD DVR is a good alternative to the Hauppauge HD PVR. Let's go find out. Okay, so the first thing we'll take a look at is the software suite that comes with the capture device. This is what you're going to use to record your video, convert your files so they'll work with your editing software, and it comes with a couple other bells and whistles too. First thing you have here is this is where you record your video. I'll show that to you in a second. Obviously, this is where you're going to record your cable box or your gaming consoles. This allows you to watch Blu-ray and DVD and video CD movies. Who watches video CD anymore is beyond me, but they give you the option. They give you a way to edit. I tried it a little bit. Honestly, it's not what you're going to want to edit your videos in, but they give you the option. And this one's actually very important. I'll explain why in a second. So let's go back first to the record video section. And as you see, I have Killzone 2 going on in the background here. Up here, you'll see your source is the AVerMedia USB HD capture device. If you don't see anything there, there's an issue going on, just hit the refresh button. If you actually still don't see it, then there's something else going on. You may have to reinstall your drivers. This is very important because this is where you pick out your video input. A lot of people will get nervous and say, hey, I'm not seeing my PlayStation 3 show up or my Xbox 360 or my Wii show up in the preview screen. Make sure that you are selecting component, because there is composite video, S video, and the YPBPR is component. Click on that. I record my videos in 720p. Honestly, for YouTube and Blip, it's more than adequate. I am not a fan of 1080i or 1080p yet. You could pick over here your resolution. Actually, it picks up the resolution. You don't even have to switch it. And then you have your video output. You want it to be 720p, of course. Then you have your video bitrate, where you could pick a variable bitrate or constant bitrate, and I recommend staying on constant bitrate. This is the bitrate I use with the other version of ArcSoft that came with the Hauppauge, so I stayed at 13,000 kbps. And the audio format, they only give you one option. Another thing I kind of don't like, which is MPEG-1 level 2, and I keep the audio bitrate the highest they have. Now, the biggest disappointment with this capture card is that they only give you one format to record in, and that is TS. That's it. No MOV, no other options. And unfortunately, TS does not work with Vegas, and that's where I edit all my videos in. So that's a big problem with me. But the good thing is, and it saved this card, at least for me, is that you can convert the video in the same software. It comes with video conversion software. So if TS doesn't work in whatever you're editing your videos in, you could simply convert it and it works just fine. I'll show that to you right now. But once again, this is the capture module. This is where you're going to actually be recording the video, and it installed the first time, no problem. Driver installed the first time, no problem. It was very easy to set up and use, which is a very good thing. One other thing before we move on I forgot to mention before is the capture volume. This is very important. The original volume was set to 19, and when I was recording gameplay footage from the PlayStation 3, it was too loud and it was distorting the audio. So I don't think there's anything wrong with your capture device. It's actually just that the capture volume is set too high, so just lower it. I recommend like 13 or 14 and you'll be fine. So if you hear distortion when you're recording from your gaming consoles or from your cable box, just lower the volume right here. Okay, so now let's close this out and let's open up ArcSoft Media Converter, because this is going to be very necessary if you use Sony Vegas, because it does not like TS files. So let's open it up, and it gives you a whole slew of options. You have iPod video, Apple TV, iPhone, iPod Classic, iPod Nano, iPod Touch. It gives you a bunch of different bit rates, resolutions, different video outputs. This is MP4. Let's go over to Microsoft, Xbox 360, WMV. It has the zoom, and it lowers the frames per second and the resolution. And we have Philips here too. Once again, it uses Windows Media Video 9, 320 by 240. And of course, you can go and edit. It's somewhat limited though. Like for example, you can only bring the bitrate for Windows Media Video 9 to 640 kbps when you use the Philips setting. And I don't like that too much, because if you really want to tweak the settings to what you need, you are limited. Like look, you can only bring it to 480 by 270. I mean, you could stretch it to widescreen if you want to, but it is somewhat limiting. So we'll cancel out of that. I'll show you the one that I actually used, and that was, they have SanDisk as well, but they only give you one option. Once again, you can do some limited tweaking to it. Max quality. Can't even change the resolution on there. And I know these are meant for certain devices, but like I said before, you know, it would be nice to make this what I need it to be for the software I'm using it for. I wish they took it a step further. But once again, let's go to Sony. It has 1280 by 720. The max kbps you could set it to is 8,000. Wish you could do 13 to match the original file, but I can't. 29.97 frames per second. That can't be changed. Can only do up to 30. And resolution, once again, of 1280 by 720. I can go to 1920 by 1080, but my original file wasn't in 1920 by 1080, so no use doing that. You can improve the audio quality up to 320 kbps, and you can change the sample rate to 48 kilohertz. That's my only problem, like I said before, is that I wish they gave you more options and let you spread your wings more with this software. But it works just fine, and it makes the video look great.
So what we'll do is we'll leave it on what I had, and all you have to do is add a file. We'll add in, I don't know, Outland. Great game, by the way. And I'll just render it to my desktop. And there you go. You can change your CPU priority. The higher the priority, the faster it'll convert. But if you're doing other things in the background, it'll make those choppy. So I recommend keeping it on normal. And that's pretty much it. This video converter does work very well, even with its limited options, but makes great 720p files, especially with the Sony PS3 setting. So now I'm going to finish rendering all the gameplay footage I recorded with the AVerMedia AVerTV USB HD DVR, so you could see for yourself what this device is actually capable of. Let's take a look.
Medium right. Keep right over crest. 60. Medium left long. 60. Medium right past house. Crest into keep left over crest. Into medium left.
So you've seen all the accessories this capture card comes with. I gave you a quick tutorial of the ArcSoft software, and you've seen a ton of recorded gameplay footage. But after everything is said and done, is the AVerMedia AVerTV USB HD DVR worth $140 of your hard-earned money? I'm going to say yes, but with two fairly big reservations. One is that this card is not compatible with Macintosh computers, which is mind-boggling to me because HD video editing and Mac kind of go hand in hand, and there is definitely a big enough install base that it would be profitable for AVerMedia to make this compatible with Macintosh computers. Secondly is that it only records in the TS video format. I know there are many media devices that are compatible with that format, but a perfect example is that Sony Vegas did not recognize the video portion of the files recorded from the AVerMedia. Now it is an acceptable flaw because the ArcSoft video software does allow you to convert your files to different formats, but if you record multiple shows or movies or an entire game for a review, that is going to be a lot of time wasted converting video if your video editing software does not accept TS video files. But if you could look past those two fairly large flaws, the video quality coming from the AVerMedia is amazing. It is equally as good as the Hallplug HD PVR, and I encountered no stability issues while using this product. It worked very well. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rich of ReviewTechUSA. For more gaming and technology reviews, go to ReviewTechUSA.com. Thank you for watching.